like a time and place for optimism, but there's also realism that needs to happen in a business.
Yeah.
And kind of understanding what can go wrong, anticipating what can go wrong.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's the age-old thing of like, expect the unexpected.
Exactly.
It sounds so terrible and so lame, but it's true. Good morning, Allison. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm very well. I have not seen you in so long, over a month.
Did you miss me?
I did miss you. Honestly, you've been everywhere. Well, not everywhere. You've been in one state other than New South Wales, and we missed you for a while.
It's funny, isn't it? Like the world has changed so much. Normally in 4 weeks I could go to every state.
I know. So you've only gotten to one state in 4 weeks. So to give a little background...
I went to Adelaide and I did 2 weeks in isolation.
Yes.
When you think about it, the whole trip at the start was a disaster. And then it turned out to be the best trip ever.
So good. But I mean, I think it's also that 2 weeks of isolation where you're literally sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't doing nothing. You were in a house... In your hotel, in your quarantine hotel, surrounded by four walls, and you were just bored.
Well, you know what? Actually, all started. I got on the plane, and then there was nobody really on the plane. It was probably about 15 people, and then I got to the airport in Adelaide, and my bag didn't come out.
I remember that you called me.
I was like, where is my bag?
Yeah.
And then because it was about 9 o'clock at night when I arrived, and there was no one around because obviously the airports are really, really closed at the moment. Yep. And then the staff, I was like, there's no one here. So I walked upstairs and I asked for somebody, and they're like, sorry, no one's around. I was like, okay, I'm just going to have to leave. Like, there's nothing I can do here. Anyway, so I then I walk out, and then you have like about 20... I think they are, I don't know whether they're federal police or state police, but you have to go through a checklist.
Yeah.
And about 4 weeks prior.
That's right. We went to South Australia 4 weeks prior.
Yeah, we had a permit to get into South Australia. Mm-hmm. So that means we didn't have to isolate. The day that we got to South Australia, we lined up again. We gave them over our permit, and they're like, you're not coming in. You have to do 2 weeks of isolation. And we were like, no, it says we've got a permit.
We've got a permit that we don't need to do the 2 weeks isolation and we can actually just go work.
And he goes, the laws changed last night. Oh. And we were like, oh no, like what are we going to do? So we ended up coming back to Sydney, and then I organised to sit in isolation.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And this time, again, he said, you can't come in. And I was like, oh no, what have I done now? And he goes, you haven't been accepted to get in. And I said, no, I'm happy to do the isolation. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so they choose your hotel for you. You don't get to choose any hotel. Mm-hmm. And then pretty much you go out, you collect your bag, get into the
bus or Uber, whatever.
And then off you go. And then, so I got to my hotel. It was not what I was essentially would normally stay in.
Oh, fine. Totally fine. I mean, it's a quarantine hotel.
It was hard work, honestly. Yeah. And then I got in there on the third day, and I'm not a princess.
No.
You would be worse than me.
Yeah, I know.
But on the third day, on the first day, my nose started bleeding, and I think it was just from the air in the
and just
hotel.
Like a lot of you were obviously you were traveling interstate, you've been on a plane, you're tired.
No, but I've never been worried about being tired or anything like that. Nose has never bled, but it was just I don't know, the air in the room, and probably it's just been for the last 6 months or however long, it's just been an isolation hotel.
Yeah.
So then on the third day, I started to get like a rash on my face and I was like, wonder what this is. But you have to go to, within the first 3 days, you have to go to the hospital, have the coronavirus test. Yeah. So while I was at the hospital, I said, something's growing on my face and I've never had anything like this before. And the lady said, let's do some tests and et cetera, et cetera. And then she ended up finding out that it was something from the hotel.
That's so terrible. Like a bacterial something or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So then they put me on like steroid cream.
Oh, goodness me.
All this stuff. But it got worse. And I'm sure you saw it.
Yes,
it was
I did.
All around my face. It was all around my lips. It was horrific. And then it gets worse. So I called up the front desk. Okay, so 6 days later, we're gone on. My bag finally arrives.
Actually, no, I remember because you were literally like, can you just order some track pants or something to keep me warm?
Yeah, I'm like, I just need something fresh. I've been in the same clothes. And the thing is, they don't have any washing machines or dryers in the hotel. So I called the front desk and I was like, is there any way I can just call somebody to come and collect my clothes, wash them, and then bring them back? And they go, no, you can't have your clothes washed. And I was like, wait, what do you mean I can't have my clothes washed? They go, that could...
Like contact virus, blah, blah, blah.
And I was like, okay, so what I did is I was washing them in the bath and then hanging them like on the... It was
an ordeal.
It was nice.
But
it was
look,
enjoyable.
It's fine. At least you had clean clothes.
I don't know whether they were that clean. But, and then that was pretty much it. But the one thing is I did put it on Instagram one night and I had so many replies. I had about 50 replies and all these people, like one really sad comment was, my mum was in isolation and then 3 days later she passed away.
Oh my goodness.
Being in it, it's like really hard to explain, but it was like that.
Yeah.
I don't know whether, I don't know. Is it
the loneliness?
It's not about the loneliness. Yeah, it could be about that. I was really busy with work.
Yeah.
The loneliness didn't bother me.
Yeah.
And I did get a lot of work done, but I couldn't understand what it is like. Like, you can't just walk outside and go for a walk. Your whole life is taken away from you in that aspect. Like, someone knocks on your door and gives you food. Like, you don't get to choose what food you eat. And, like, the Uber Eats, you can order whatever, but after a while, McDonald's is...
Yeah, that's all what it is.
You know?
Like, that's all.
They also had no, nothing inside the kitchen. So you couldn't even, cook
make
anything.
A tea or nothing.
So, it showed me a different side of the world. And I was like, I enjoyed it. I really actually enjoyed it in that aspect.
You were able to see something different.
It was.
Obviously.
It was nice. Yeah. And, challenges are the best types of, best things that you can do in life.
And the best thing to make you grow.
I don't know whether the government is doing the right thing. I think you should be able to choose where you isolate, but then I suppose it happens.
It can go here. That's the thing. It could go here or there.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. I mean, I think what's happening as well, it's like the new normal. So we're just trying to make everything work.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that's the only thing that they can do. It's the only thing they've come up with.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, don't travel. No, just stay in your state.
If you don't need to travel, don't travel. For me, I had no choice. I had to go to Adelaide.
Yeah.
Not essentially just for sparkling white, for our other system that we're doing.
Yep.
And I wouldn't have gone if it was for teeth whitening, essentially, and I don't think it would have been worth the 2 weeks. But because I had to be down in Adelaide for other reasons, that was the reason why. And then I went to my actual place that I was going to
stay. Yep.
And Adelaide is my favourite place. How many times did I call you guys and be like, I'm moving to Adelaide?
I know.
It is the most beautiful place with the most beautiful people. You would walk down the street and people were like, hello, 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 hello. What do you do?
It's different to the Sydney rat race, isn't it?
So crazy. It was beautiful.
Well, this is what people say as well. Adelaide is... I've been to Adelaide myself and I think it's a beautiful city. It's quiet. There's a lot of... there is a lot of people there. It's a beautiful city. You've got the wineries and I think it's somewhere nice that people should actually travel. I mean, in saying that, I think people should travel Australia because not many people do. No one's been to other states or anything like that. No. So good points.
Yeah.
Good points.
No, Adelaide was amazing. Not essentially the first half, but I'll look past that because the second half was so beautiful.
Good.
But it's crazy how we have to go and isolate for 2 weeks to get into another state.
It's crazy.
Isn't it?
I mean, look, even international travel at this point is it's going to cease to exist, or hopefully something does open or something. But look, it's the new normal. It's what we have to deal with. It's 2020, guys. Cannot wait for 2021.
Hurry up.
So talking about your work trip, super amazing. You had fun. I mean, the first 2 weeks wasn't great, but
I had amazing support.
You did have amazing support from all of HQ,
and I got a lot of work done.
And tell me some more updates. What else has been happening with Sparkling White? What have we been doing?
More like what's not happening.
I know, true. That's very, very true. We've obviously had some new starters happening within the head office, which is very, very exciting. I think we're just trying to make everything work. We're dealing with what the current situation in the world is, right? And just making it all work for our favour. Yeah. So that's very exciting.
I'm in a really good place with work. I love everything that's going on at the moment. Restructuring the company was one of the best things we've ever done. Totally. And I think we know where we're going clearly now, and we know what we're doing, and we know where the business is looking to achieve. with the new product coming
And
sooner rather than later.
I mean, and as we said previously, it's like, you know, what this year has done as well. It's been able, like, for all of us in the office to sit there and be like, okay, let's work on the business and not in the business. It's given us that kind of hindsight and that extra kind of insight to look into the future. So I think it's been good.
No, I think it's been
really good. I mean, I also know that we do have some other questions that have come through Instagram.
Sure.
Which I think we should definitely talk about and answer today. Do you think you want to?
Yeah, why not?
Amazing. Why don't we have a little break and then we'll go from there?
Are you wanting a dramatically whiter smile? If you're a coffee drinker or a lover of red wine, then Sparkling White Smile's Premium Ultra White treatment is for you. The Ultra White treatment consists of 2 sittings 1 week apart. This headlining treatment is tailored to leave your teeth up to 14 shades lighter post-treatment. For bookings and inquiries, send an email to info@sparklingwhitesmile.com.au. That's info@sparklingwhitesmile.com.au.
So we're back.
Hello.
And I've been going through the questions and I picked out a few that people have asked you on Instagram. Why don't we answer some?
Let's do it.
Amazing. Okay, so our good friends at Cosmechicks asked us, or you even, how do you find the balance in your life between work and personal?
Do you know what? There's no such thing as work and personal life. My work has become my personal life. If you're an Olympian, all you do is
train. You're training because you want to be an Olympian.
You're doing better.
Yeah.
Like for me, in my off time, I'm reading. I'm working on training manuals. I'm doing et cetera. But my personal life has a lot to do with my work life. So my friends, they're my work guys.
Hi.
Yeah. After hours, after hours, I'm normally still at work and we might order pizza or whatever it is, but it's still working for me. And I just love what I do. For example, my partner, I've pretty much going to marry my match. He's very similar to personality as me. We like the same things. He works so much. The reason probably why we didn't meet earlier in life was because we were both working so much and we were both focused on exactly what it was. But we've come together, and sometimes people think, "Are you guys even in a relationship? You're sitting there, you're both on your computers, and like, hi, like what's happening?"
But it works.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think also people kind of get scared with the relationships as well, that they need to fill the empty space.
Yeah.
You're most comfortable with your partner when you are like quiet,
But
you're comfortable.
My family is most important to me, and every single week make sure I have time for them. We have family dinner, catch up. That's super important. I speak to my family every single day, like on our group chats. We stay really connected, and that to me is my work-life balance. I love my job and I love my life in that way, so I keep it together.
I love that. That's a really good answer.
There's no such thing as a work-life balance. If you want to really focus and be who you want to be, you have to just let it be.
I think it's just make it work for you.
Yeah.
No, I think that's really good. I think that's good advice.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry if I can't say this properly, but Completes Co. I'm so sorry if I said that wrong. How did you get in touch with so many incredible business people, such as Mark Boris?
So actually I was asked to go on Mark Boris's podcast.
Yes.
And I was like the young one who was late. I'm sure everyone knows that.
Yes, you were. How late were you?
Only an hour. A bit later. No, I actually don't like being late for anybody. My dad always taught me never ever make someone wait. So for example, I got in touch with Mark through that. But for me, I was never afraid to reach out to people. If they inspired me, I reached out to them. I was like, how can we work together? What can we do together?
Yeah.
I'm actually here for the best interest. I really want to learn from you. Never been ashamed to ask for help ever. And I think people that are ashamed and too scared to ask for help, they won't go where they want to go.
Do you remember when you went to one of Wendy's events? You just walked right up to her.
I was like I didn't know that you couldn't bring a +1 because I got invited and I was so amateur. And then you
walked right up to her.
I was like, hi, I'm Allison. I've never been like, I'm really shy. Actually, I'm a really shy person, but I've never been shy enough to not go and chase what I want.
Yeah. I mean, if you haven't seen the episode with Wendy, go back a few episodes because that's on there, guys. Another question by Bridley. I'm so sorry if I said that wrong again.
I'm going to take you to spelling.
I know. How do you handle and approach stress and problems with so much on your plate?
To be honest, like everybody gets stressed. There's no such thing as not being stressed. If I was sitting here saying I don't get stressed, then I'd be lying. But I really don't think about how much is on my plate, because if I thought about how much was on my plate, I would be always stressed.
Yeah, totally.
I really focus on time management with us. I focus on the things that I need to get done, and everything else kind of gets pushed to the side
which
until
is totally
I
fine.
have extra time. Yeah. So to be honest, I really focus on the things that are the main things and what is going to grow the business and what is important.
It's kind of making that priority list. It's like, okay, I know that 1, 2, 3 is very important.
Yes.
And then the rest can be pushed back.
Exactly.
That's
and
totally fine.
I live off Trello boards.
Yes. Trello's my favorite.
Yes.
I love it.
If anyone that works in my office will know what a Trello board is, but that's my to-do list, and it goes into the next column once it's been completed. And we have a meeting every single 2 days, and we go through everything that needs to be done.
Yeah, what's been actioned, what's been put aside, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, so it's
it's
very
the main
much
thing.
in order.
That's like we all love a checklist.
Oh, yeah.
It makes the world go round.
With my brain, if I didn't have a checklist.
I'm your checklist.
Jason, the other day, we were driving out to pick up a car, and I get there and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot the keys. Like, that should have been on the checklist.
But I forgot about it too. I remember walking out of the office and you were like, Jason, I feel like I'm forgetting something. And I'm like, phone, wallet, bag, we're good, let's go. Well, we forgot the keys. Usually it's phone, keys, wallet. No, oh my goodness, I'm so silly.
Yeah. So don't be stressed. I think you have to just put priorities in place. Make sure that you are always focused on the what is needed, and everything else can be put to the side a little bit.
True. Very, very true. We have Tiffany here, and she said, how do you approach things when they don't go to plan?
Oh my God. So many things don't go to plan.
It's true.
So many things. Yeah, of course. And I think that I never ever go for it to go to plan. I always look at what can go wrong.
Yeah.
And I think people that sit there and think of everything's going to be perfect and everything's going to be okay, well, they're never going to do well in business, because a lot of things in business go wrong. And if you don't have that personality of where you accept it and move on and go to work on the next thing, I think that's where a lot of things.
That's right.
Wrong.
Like, there's like a time and place for optimism, but there's also realism that needs to happen in a business.
Yeah.
And kind of understanding what can go wrong, anticipating what can go wrong.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's the age-old thing of like, expect the unexpected.
Exactly.
It sounds so terrible and so lame, but it's true.
I couldn't agree more. And I think having no fear is a great thing to have, but you also need to have a fear of it going wrong. And I think a lot of the time it will go wrong. So you just let it be, because that's life.
That's life.
That's honestly life. And business is business.
Look at Miss Roney, 2020 Corona. Hello.
Exactly.
No one knew that was happening.
Exactly right.
Oh my goodness, I don't know why I should laugh at that. But anyway, Max has asked, if you were starting out in business, what would your top 3 bits of advice be?
Well, this is a really good
Everybody loves a bit of advice.
Yeah.
I love it.
My 3 top bits of advice would be, number 1, consistency.
Yes.
Like, you have to be consistent day in and day out. For the last 5 years, consistency is 7 days a week. I have seriously worked on this business, and half the time I don't even show half of what we actually do, but it is day in, day out, from 6 a.m. in the morning till 6 p.m. at night minimum.
My favorite thing is like literally looking at my phone when I wake up, and I wake up at 7:30, so not late, but I've already got like 20 messages. I'm like, okay, cool, yep, perfect, done, yep, already done. Okay,
oh my God,
cool.
I sound like the worst person in the world.
No. But as I was saying, it's lists, it's writing it down. Like, honestly, before I go to bed at night, I write down what's in my head so I don't forget.
Yeah.
I think that's what like people do.
Yeah.
I mean, I do.
No, totally.
You know?
Totally. So that's definite, like, and
consistency.
Taking every opportunity that comes your way. Don't say no. You have to work for free. There is if I showed you a list of how many jobs I've done for free, how many times I have worked and, driven to Newcastle, driven to Wollongong, done all these jobs, paid for collaborations, paid for marketing, paid for media.
Out of your own pocket.
You can't ever say that you know what the return on investment is like for that. But what I can say is I have created an amazing company, an amazing reputation, and the brand now speaks for itself, but it doesn't come at a cheap cost. It comes at you spend your time is a lot of money, so you spend a lot of your time at working for free, and then obviously you do spend a lot of money that comes back into the company that goes straight out
into the company.
and be yourself.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you will be the second copy.
Yeah.
Which is
you will be like the second-rate copy. Nobody wants that.
No one wants
Be
that.
authentic, right?
Be authentic.
Yeah.
Be you. Don't do what everyone else is doing. The amount of people that I watch now that do teeth whitening that is like glamorous and beautiful, and I'm like, I'm so proud that this is what we have created.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, authenticity is the best.
It is
the way to do it.
It is the way to do it,
and you can't change it. You can't not be yourself.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So I like that. 3 good pieces of advice there. Christina has asked, do you get a lot of engagement with social media? And do you see it go up and down?
Yes. Social media for me, I don't even know how many followers do I have on my personal page.
On your personal page? That's
probably like 6,000.
Yeah, something like that.
But I actually have 6,000 views on my story.
Yeah.
So I have like a very, very high engagement rate on my story and on my personal Instagram. Believe it or not, the amount of people that message my personal Instagram that don't message the Sparkling White Smile page is incredible.
Yeah.
And it really shows, like, I love that. I've never put myself out there to be an Instagram influencer or anything like that. But the engagement that we do have on the page is amazing. Social media on Sparkling White. Well, I don't actually run that, so I couldn't actually tell you.
Yeah.
But I know that it does get a lot of our work come through on that.
Well, that's the thing. We get a lot of DMs on social media. Like, it's another way to get bookings, you know? And free marketing is while you're showing people what you're doing. So I think there's obviously peaks and troughs with everyone's social media.
Yeah. We've actually changed our social media
layouts
and how we're moving forward with it. We used to actually post a lot of our, not a lot, but a fair few of our behind the scenes stories. We've actually started to realize that no one cares what you're doing behind the scenes. You show a little bit here and there, but now we're showing a lot more interesting things that people actually want to see the results. We're moving forward with, we've grown our marketing team so big in our HQ that they're all over it now, and I just sit there and I've got all these amazing ideas, and like I get so excited.
It's so exciting
because that's where it needs to go, and it's now becoming from that little company that you like kind of show what you're doing, but now it's going into the next stage where
it's the next level.
Yeah, where we're really focusing on results. We're really focusing on health. We're really focusing on
tips, tricks, everything like that.
Yeah, that people actually want to see. And, you know, with how I'm
growing,
training and the manuals that we're doing at the moment and how we're learning to be even better in teeth whitening, that's where I'm heading. That's what I want to do. That's where I want to go. I could not care less how many jobs, I don't care I'm not reposting what jobs are happening in Perth, what jobs are happening in Adelaide, because that's what they're focusing on. They're smaller Instagrams.
Yeah, no, I like that. I mean, that's the thing. Social media is the best free way for you to get your name out there. So just run it and do it and go with it.
But content is king.
Yeah.
I think you really, really need to focus on
putting beautiful content
out and focusing on showing the best that you can do.
Absolutely. I like that. Jazzy asked, what makes our gel different to other businesses?
This is a good one, actually.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jazzy, for asking. But I've went on plenty of planes to find our product. And over the last couple of years, we didn't just put a name on a product. We've actually created our own product. A lot of teeth whitening companies will just go and, re-put their name on something that doesn't actually work. It lasts 5 minutes, if that. It's very cheap. It can be very bad for the teeth. For me, coming from a nurse background or nursing background, everything's about hygiene, everything's about health, everything's about
formula, everything like that.
So everything is like in the right way, and I can honestly say that our product has done everything in that aspect, and I'd be very strict until I put it out there to our clientele.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I love that. I mean, that you're not going to get it from anyone else. Yeah,
very safe and very effective at using 6% hydrogen peroxide.
Good.
Yeah,
amazing. Another question I have here is from Katrina. How did you find the right business coach to take you where you are today or where you wanted to be?
Sure. So I actually have a few business coaches, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And I catch up with them. I think it's about once every 2 weeks is one. I have another one who I see once a week. And then there's one that I kind of call when I need.
Mm-hmm.
And business coaches, you're never going to find one that covers every single aspect and every single part of life that you would probably need. For me, I have a brain that has so many ideas coming through it, and sometimes I need to like slow down. So if I just worked on my own brain, I would probably be 500 miles ahead and everything would probably go wrong.
Totally.
So what they actually do for me is one of the business coaches pulls me back into place and will be like, focus on what you're doing right now, not on like in 100 meters or whatever it is. I have another one who works on my personal life and works on structure and leadership and just encouraging me to go and be exactly who I am. And then of course I have like a franchising mentor as well. So everything's really good because things that go wrong happen all the time.
Totally.
And I'm sure everybody in business could understand this, but they assure you that
it's going to be
business and things are going to be okay. But what they also assure you is that they've been there and they've been down that road before as well. So they make sure they put you in the right path so you don't go down the same road as what they go through. And, you know,
it's that 20/20 hindsight that we all want to have.
But I always say you have to, in business, have to have 2 ears and 1 mouth. You need to listen more than you speak. And I love listening and I love learning from people.
I love that. That's like, I feel like that's a great piece of advice that not many people hear. You do have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So
the reason why you have 2 ears is because you should listen twice as much as you talk.
Oh my gosh, that was really cute. And one last question I have here. What is your go-to breakfast? And that's from me.
Well, you would know, wouldn't you? Every single morning I have Vegemite and cheese
on Turkish toast.
Toasted. And an almond cappuccino.
Which she's now switched to oat because I've switched to oat because it makes my life so much easier.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Oh my goodness. Well, honestly, I don't know if we have enough time for more questions. I've tried to pick out the best ones. I feel like we've learnt so much about you today.
I think we should do this more often. I think
so
ones.
too. It's really nice.
Yeah, cool.
But anyway, thanks guys for listening today. Thank you, Ali, for coming.
I love it. It's like
it's not my podcast.
Jason Show.